Hello, welcome to Scrap Time episode 701. My name is Christine and on today's episode we are watercoloring with our markers. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can use your water dye-based markers as watercolor paints. I am using this set here. It's called Pum 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 from Lawn Fawn Stamps, and there's so many cute images in here with coordinating little words. It's really sweet. Here are the cards I made. I used this little present here with Be Merry, Ra-pum-pa-pum-pum with the little drum, You Rock, and Have a Very Berry Christmas. Very cute. I am using the Kiritaki Zig Art and Graphic Twin markers, and I'm going to be coloring in this little present. So I think this time, last time I used pink and green, maybe I will use blue and orange. Let me pull out the markers I will be using. Now these twin markers are great because you have a brush end here and you have a little fine end for your detailing. So if you need a marker to color with, these are great, but we're going to be using them today as paint. So what color? I think my present will be blue, so I'm going to start with the blue. It's tiny. Now I stamped this on a watercolor paper using archival ink. I used archival from Ranger because it is a waterproof ink. Because we're using water, you definitely want a waterproof ink. You don't want to use a dye-based ink for this technique. And what I'm going to do is take my marker and put it right on my craft mat. Another reason, yet again, why everyone should have a craft mat. I've got some water in a spritz. I'm going to spritz it, and you can see the little pigments. And then I've got my little brush here. Now you can see some of the blue went onto my watercolor paper, so maybe when you spray it you don't want your image to be so close, but that's okay. Come on. Okay, so I am just painting in, and I'm starting with a light color because I can put more color on it later. So I think I'm going to put more here and just try to darken it up a little. Ooh, that's a lot. But I can add water to blend that out. So you're basically turning your markers into watercolor paints. Bit more here in the back. Great. And then I'm just going to get water on my brush. I need a paper towel. And just, I'm going to spray some clear. And this is just how I clean my brush. Just rub it in some water. You can wipe that up and your color is gone. So now I'm going to take my orange, do the same thing, put a little bit on my mat, give it a spritz, and you don't want to have it too wet. If you think it's too wet, just try to do that with your brush. A little bit of it bled. I'm okay with that though, so it depends. If you don't want it to bleed, don't get it too wet. So you can see there I had less orange than I did here. I'm going to just color this in the softer orange color. Now I'm going to pick up a bit more of that dark orange and go over top of it. Then I want some darker orange. So I can, if I just want a bit of darker, I'm just going to put a little bit more there, but I'm not going to spritz that with water. And I'll just pick it up with my brush. And I can just add a little bit of shadow to the orange I have, some darker areas. You can see how cute and fun that is. Then what I do is I'm going to take it and I'm just going to put a little bit of orange around the outside, and this just once again borders, adds a little border to my piece so it doesn't get lost once I add it to the card. Sort of like that. I'm going to put a little bit of orange down here because I'm going to do the same thing to my card. I'm going to spritz this, bring in my card. This is a little 3x3 card, so these are cute. You can add to presents or... And I'm just, again, putting it around the edge, just so it's not so white. You don't have to do this step, of course. You don't have to do anything. You can do whatever you want. It's your card, but I just like to do this. I find it just frames it a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to wipe up this so I don't get it in anything. I like to use dimensionals. You can use any dimensionals you want. I'm just putting a few on the back here. Oops. And I'm going to stick that down on my card. Then I'm going to get my stamp set. I'm going to use the Be Merry stamp. Have my little block here. Place it on, ink it up. The great thing about the clear stamps is you can see exactly where you're putting it. There, looks good. And I have a cute little card. So that is how you can take your watercolor or water-based markers and turn them into watercolor paints. Well, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our website at www.scraptime.ca. And on our next episode, we're making some cards using washi tape. So please join us. Thanks for watching Scrap Time.